Welcome to Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. Now, this isn't the sign of any particular theme I'm going into. I just really want to play some Kirby, and we are doing so with this Kirby's Dream Land DX patch, which means it takes the Game Boy game from 1992 and puts it on the Game Boy Color, practically. It colorizes a lot of the game. This does come with a few graphical hiccups, like it doesn't fade in and fade out. But not important. We're already at our sub-boss, Poppy Brothers. He throws bombs at you, and it's your job as Kirby, who can suck in any matter, living or non-living, and toss it back to the opponent as an attack. That is the basis of Kirby. Just a genuinely fun platformer idea where you don't necessarily have to jump on enemies in order to vanquish them, which was kind of the norm at the time. But this is where it all started, and things that you would assume Kirby would have from the offset just aren't here. You're gonna start seeing enemies with some very, very familiar powers and abilities, but for some reason Kirby just can't use them right now. He's just doing his own thing. Alright, boss number 1. A giant tree. So this is Wispy Woods. He tries to blow you away, apples fall out of his tree, you take the apples, and you strike him in the face with it. There's really not much else to this poor little tree. Pay me no mind, I'm just gonna dance right on your tears. So this is stage 2, and we already pick up a Mike Power Witch. Our loud voice kills everyone in the room. It's like me in the morning when I listen to talk radio. Alright. So this room, very simple. Just head down to this door below, and that's progress. Avoid the spiky balls if you can. Touching them at all indicates mortal damage. For the record, you cannot attack underwater. You're holding your breath, so you don't get to attack enemies in the water. So while you're in the water, just dodge and avoid. And when Kirby eats candy, he is completely invulnerable, as long as that little fanfare is going on. Now here we have Lolo! Lolo is from a game developed by HAL, the company that developed Kirby's Dream Land. Just a nice little Easter egg. Won't be the first and won't be the last appearance. Climbing our way up. This is a bit of a little mini maze you gotta worry about. Indicating where all the doors go, and then we go to the proper door. Alright. Boss number 2. Lolo and Lala. Their duty is to literally box you in. Best thing to do is stay in the center. That way, when you see what doors Lolo and Lala pop out of, you can prepare appropriately. Just grab their box, get out of their way. There we are. One of you down. A little too quick. It's like, yeah, don't worry too much. Retreat to center. And victory is yours. Speaking of retreating to center, the Stage 2 boss, where you end up, is where you will end up on the victory screen. So if you're in the center of the screen, you'll fall right onto the star and clear the level a little faster. Just saves you a couple seconds. Okay, so these coconuts, if they drop on you, they explode and hurt you. And they will drop on you. Alright. So, see, normally you would get a power-up from that enemy, and it's just not possible just yet. One more game where Kirby will learn how to steal others' abilities. His other signature. Just try to stay above ground for the most part. And you can get through that part with practically unharmed. Alright. So you can grab this soda to get some health back, but watch out. So that particular trap, basically there for first-timers, it will throw you off. Especially in the extra game, because that bomb comes from the right side of that little lane, not the left. Go in there, grab a 1-up. The proper way forward is down here. But be careful, there's another Kaboo head waiting for you. Maximum tomato up there will restore you to full health regardless of what your life situation is. Always eat your tomatoes. Tomatoes? Tomatoes. And eat this! It's hot curry! Kirby can literally spit hot fire as long as the fanfare is playing. Need to be wary because you're on a pirate ship now and it has a lot of cannons. That's not going to be the last thing we fight in the state that has cannons, but enough of that. We get shot up into the sky, where we will meet the Stage 3 boss, Kabula. Just shoot him directly in his hot air, ignore the cannon. He will either fire shots straight forward in a volley of 3, or in a triangle formation, like a delta formation. Not really anything to worry about. His pattern can get a little erratic, but so long as you're paying attention to where the shots are, it's really no problem. So Stage 4 is when they start introducing the game's really nasty customers. Again, stay low to the ground. Kirby can puff himself up and float infinitely. Take advantage of this at your leisure. So, Scarfy, you blow them up with your breath, because if you try to suck them in, they get offended. They get offended, and they will try to blow themselves up in front of you. So yeah, just dispatch them by taking a deep breath. What happens is you can float, and when you exhale, that little cloud becomes an attack. It's definitely a safe way to dispatch certain enemies. Also, be wary. Some enemies will try to come up from the ground to get a piece of you. So here it can be a little tricky. Use your float to float above the spikes. A little demonstration of how the Scarfies normally react. For the record, your deep breath can actually cancel out projectiles. Be wary of these enemies. The method of which they fly could actually run into you if you're not careful, like so. So it is over here. Secret room. You can pick up another power-up, or you can shoot infinitely. Not the purpose here. The purpose here is that there is a soda and a maximum tomato and a 1-up. You can grab all three and be in time for the mini-boss. He does seem like a handful, but really just stick to the corners when he's attacking. You're mostly safe there. Spit out the Waddle Dees that he tosses at you, spit them out directly in his face, and that's your source of damage. And now we get this. You get that nice little leaf blower back. If you're having little health issues after that fight, just grab yourself a soda. Be wary of the Gordos, the little spike balls that are throwing their way across that stage. We've been over the damage they can do. It's a lot. Trust me. I'm gonna do my best to show you how not to approach them. Yep. Use your curry to blow your way through these stars. Be careful of the platforms down there, because falling below can cost you a life. Watch out for the umbrellas, and now we have Kracko proper. Kracko will dive bomb you. After he dive bombs you, he will do one of two things. He will spit out a Waddle Doo. You can strike him with those Waddle Doos, and he will either dive bomb you, or he will fill that general area with thunder. Not that bad of a fight once you become aware of his behavior. Final stage! Mount DDD. So this is a short stage. Why do I say it's a short stage? Because its descriptors are pretty self-explanatory. You have to return to Redux versions of the previous stages. These are mostly one-room affairs, and your job is to get through mostly unharmed. Your job is to touch your Kirby friend at the end, because it will destroy everything on screen, including the Gordo blocking the door. Afterwards, in the next room, you fight the boss. As I've discussed, where Kracko is, you go to where he isn't. The best place to be is next to these little pillars here. If you're in the center of the screen, you will most likely get hit by Krako's dive bomb. So grab the little Waddle Doo, and then instinctively run to the other side. Just anything you can do to avoid getting hit. Alright. So you have to float upward for this one. Be wary of the little mask. It will try to come to life and strike you down. Float above any hazards. You can do that. Walk into Kirby, and we're fighting Lolo and Lala again. Same strat as before. Stick to the center. Wait and see where either Lolo or Lala pop out. Patience is a virtue for that fight. And we get this little unusual architecture. Float below the tree. Try not to get too fancy or you will fall to your doom. So, Wispy, same deal as before. Give him his apples. Because fruit, while very, very good for you, is harmful to Wispy. If you don't feel weary about breathing the coconuts away, you can just eat them. Granted, that is a rare instance where I'm able to jump high enough to interact with them. Be careful, float your way through the middle. Obviously don't touch the spikes. And we get Kabula again. His pattern can be a bit hectic. This is nothing compared to him on Extra Game. And I got lucky there. And that brings us to the final boss. King DDD. Whenever you see a star on screen, grab it with your mouth. Because DDD will intend to grab you with his mouth. He has a lot of attacks. He'll either try to suck you in, either try to slide into you, bring out his giant hammer, just run a teeny bit of ways. Don't worry too much about what his attack's gonna be, just stay at mid-range. You should be able to prevent it. That's an example of what not to do. Don't get yourself cornered. If you see him just running at you, go to the corner and jump appropriately. If he tries to hammer you, he will go to where you've been. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Very close. He normally does an attack where He splashes upward, but he doesn't do that normally. But when he does do it, it makes defeating him that much easier. And now we take this castle filled with healthy snacks for ourselves. And that is Kirby's Dream Land. Programmer Sunday Rain, aka programmer Satoru Iwata. The man who would become one of the faces of Nintendo was a programming genius at the time. But Kirby's Dream Land, the game itself, is a rudimentary classic for the Game Boy. As long as you throw out all of the physics and the rules that you're used to with a modern Kirby game, coming back here won't be such a bumpy ride. But I love me some Kirby. This is just a game that you sort of pick up to get you warmed up. It's over in roughly 20 minutes. What Kirby said, "This is my bye-bye to you." If I'm in the mood, I might. But until then, see you guys in the next game.